Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels.
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Right, Chris.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back for the second of our two headers tonight. And like I said earlier, nothing beats a two header on a Monday night. That's what I always say. Not that I would know it all, you know. And yes, I am normally dressed now. I can't keep my Santa hat on for long. Yeah, I did have it on earlier, but I had to take it off. I can't stand fluffy, hairy things on my face. Did I just say that out loud?
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform. Or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
You can find us if you're watching us, and if you're listening, just ask your favourite podcast platform to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die. We've only got one predictor in today. I have a feeling Steve's late, but it might be my fault. On the day that they said Christmas games are going ahead no matter what, and Spurs, they found out it was a dead cockerel. It has ceased to be. They're no longer in the Conference League. What a shame.
It's the Leicester Till I Die Premier League prediction show with Chris, Brad, and regular special guest, ex-Leicester City player Steve Lynex.
Like and subscribe now.
Good evening, Brad.
Hey, good evening, Chris.
Yeah,
How the hell are you?
I'm all right. How are you? But
I'm good as always, mate.
Well, I just think we were talking before about Steve being late, and I'm just checking my messages to him, and I realised I said we were doing it at 9 o'clock, and that it would be three weeks in one show. I didn't actually tell him what day. It could well. They're doing a lot of shows at the moment. I'm getting old, you know. But I tell you what, I'm never too old to laugh. I did say earlier, best wishes to Maisie, not getting on with her old COVID jabs. She's in hospital, so get well soon, Maisie. I know you won't be watching. You'll be eyeing up all them young doctors, won't you? But what a shame about. I mean, in a way, I feel sorry for Tottenham fans, because I think it's always the fans that get shafted by Premier League, the FA, UEFA, whatever. As a club, it's funny, but the fans, they're the ones that are suffering. It was COVID; they couldn't play. UEFA are just being pains in the arse, aren't they?
Oh, it's UEFA itself. I mean, I've seen a lot of comments throughout social media of fans saying, "Great, another competition that we're not going to win this season." And you're very right from a fan's perspective. All banter aside, you do feel sorry for them because, you know, no matter what you achieve, when you go so long without silverware, you kind of get to a point where the last thing they want is to do an Arsenal, finish 8th, and suddenly get no European football. I think it came to a point where the Tottenham fans were probably, especially at the start of the season, going, God, actually, we might need to win the Conference League just to make sure we're playing European football. And now they've got no choice to finish in the league or potentially win the FA Cup, because I don't believe they're in the League Cup, are they? But if they are, they've got to win one of them now.
I think they're playing West Ham same night as we play Liverpool.
Oh, great. See, ours, the only, after Man City got knocked out, I completely forgot who else could be in it, because it's the Man City Cup, isn't it?
It is really. But I mean, I was just on a Leicester show. On a Leicester show. This is the Leicester show. I have no idea what I'm doing. Who am I? Let's be having you. Who are you? I was on a Tottenham show just in the chat just before we came live, and they were on there putting up a good we didn't want to be in it anyway, and we don't want to be going over to these places we've never heard of and all this, which I think was very much putting on a brave face. But I just think it's really, like you say, typical UEFA.
Yeah, it is, and it's just one of them, isn't it? That unfortunately fans are going to have to deal with it. It's been done now. It's been decided. It's a very strange one, though, isn't it? Because you'd imagine if, say, that was, I don't know, Fleetwood versus, I nearly said Arsenal, but I was trying to think of a big Premiership side. I don't know, Fleetwood versus Man City, and then the game got called off due to COVID reasons, which is horrible. We don't want this going on in football. It just is what it is at the moment. You would expect the FA to be lenient and allow them to replay the tie. I don't understand the big hoo-ha about it. Well, that's it now.
Yeah. Terry, good evening. Change of plan? I don't know. Did I change a plan? Hayden, good evening. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you as well. I hope you have a decent one and as good as it's possible to have. Steve just popped on to I don't know, he didn't look like he read the message, but I did see he was online a minute ago, so we may or may not get him as well. But the football games are going ahead, whatever we think, over Christmas. So how many of these will actually be played or not, of course, is another matter. Brad's everywhere, and hats off for back-to-back shows, mate. Big up. Thank you, Ankit. Get over and check that Almighty Blues FC channel out. It is a Chelsea, so I don't know how almighty it is at the moment, but he does a bit of cricket. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't go there either, eh, Brad?
No, don't. Oh God. If you want to sum up the ashes, the fact that the one guy who we were pinning all our hopes on to survive 26 overs got out by standing on his own wickets, it just sums up England like that. Just let's move on. Yeah, move on. Well, I don't know why I pained myself by bringing it up.
Terry, you probably missed it. I told him it was 9 o'clock. I may not have told him what day it was. He's back online now, but whether he actually reads the messages, but he possibly could be working late anyway, in fairness to him, with the job that he does. So before we go into the prediction league, I do believe that we should talk about the long ball, Brad.
That's just pre-season, mate. Don't need to talk about that. Let's get on with this. This is the real league. This is where the champions lie. This is where the people
No. I think we should just give it a mention. In fairness, I don't know. It only shows me his abbreviation, but just see if I can get in. Juggy LFC 93. Now, I don't know who that is, but he is in the Leicester Till I Die League. He only got 1 point last week. That's how bad things are at the moment.
Wow.
Let's have a look.
I need to remember the link, mate. I know I keep putting it in our chat, but I need to keep remembering to post it down. That's what does me most weeks.
Well, I got 5 points. And can I just say that I actually got the most points last week? I even got more than Ian Marshall. And if I get 5 points and that's the highest, that's how bad it is. It was joint highest with the admin guy that runs the whole thing. So you got 4, Brad.
Yeah, you see, I don't even have to do anything. The long ball just give me the points because they watch the show. That's what it is, Chris. They see the show. They go, there's no way we can let him get no points. Let's give him 4 points because clearly he would have got all these right.
You're back down to 9th again, mate.
Yeah, I know. I'm just building up. Right, it's a Christmas miracle. Because what's going to happen is I'll go into the new year and I'll fly up. Not for long, Terry. Don't worry, Terry. I'm going to throw you off for the next 3 weeks with my predictions. If you saw what I was predicting with Doug, because Doug does the scores, I've gone for some very bold scores, to say the least.
Yeah. Terry, you sat on me. I'm 5th, mate.
Well, it's past 9 o'clock. I suppose you can mention it.
You've got 4 more points than me. I think I should ban Terry from watching this because I think he watches my predictions and probably goes completely the other way. Which is why
I tell you what, Chris. We'll learn some signals. So what we'll do is we'll make some really strange ones, but really, you know where to put our names in the box in the editing.
Yes,
we'll figure it. So Terry can copy the wrong answers, mate. Got it.
Yes, I think he comes in here sneaking. Yeah. Doug, good evening, sir. How the devil are you?
No see, Doug.
Yes, exactly. Even less time for me. This is Doug, the Man United fan, who would want Alex Ferguson as his manager and would like to see Leeds United win the title. You've got to watch the earlier show. I
was drinking some strong stuff earlier.
Doug, we've got a new game, Daddy Chips. And
he said that earlier, and I was like, how is that?
You youngsters, I said it to Craig and he knew. You don't know what Daddy Chips is?
Nope.
Here we go. Have a look at this. It might have been better if I'd taken Terry's message down, but basically, it's when you ask your kids, do you love your daddy or do you love chips? Who do you love more? And it's, oh God, that's a difficult decision because you're a kid. And
no,
so
chips.
You're given the choice of 2 things, and it's which so like he had to choose between England and Germany because he's Scottish. He went for Germany. Manager, whether he's going to have Roy Hodgson or Alex Ferguson. Players was Gerrard or Salah. Football teams was Leeds United or Manchester United. The trophy was the Champions League versus Spurs or the Premier League title. And of course, as he pointed out, typical top 6 fan, that they've won the Champions League about 6 times, but he's only won the Premier League once, Doug, haven't you? Yeah. Now, how many times have we won it, Brad?
Exactly the same, and we won it first.
We have, and we won it exactly, yeah. So
we did it in better style, mate.
About Liverpool fan. Now, thanks for coming on earlier, Doug. Even though he was in and out like a vicar on Viagra, having problems with the internet. Right, sir. Let's have a look because Steve keeps going on to the old Facebook, but he doesn't actually read my messages.
No,
so
it's all right. I can do Steve's for you. I've just picked the worst team for every game. So Leeds, draw, Burnley.
I know one he'll go for. We can do Tottenham and Arsenal. We can put him in for them, can't we? But,
we could just look back over. But he goes for every team that we expect to lose. So yeah, Leeds.
Yes,
yeah. We'll put a draw for the next one down. We'll give them Burnley. We can do this. Don't worry, Steve. We've got you covered back. We've got you back, mate.
Yeah, we won't be horrible to you. Well, that's how it stands at the moment. You got quite a commanding lead there, young man. 77 points.
Oh yeah, it's quite the opening. So it's like I said to you in jest. I didn't know the scores before he showed me, but I really could have had tonight off. Couldn't I?
How the hell did you get a draw with Wolves drawing with Chelsea and Spurs drawing with Liverpool?
Because
can I just say though, I was the only one that got Arsenal to beat Leeds United.
Yeah, but by the looks of things, it's also the only one you got apart from the obvious one against Man City.
Shut up. Just to let everybody know, by the way, guys, I don't know what's happening with the long ball because I did actually message Marshy earlier, Ian Marshall, and said, like, do we have to re-predict when the games are played, or are our original predictions kept? And basically he said, just keep a lookout. So thanks, Ian. Not a lot of help. But,
Well, I would imagine with how many cancellations there has been, they will probably be able to do it. They squeeze it into a game week, won't they? They'll just try and arrange it.
We should. We will. Yeah,
we'll find
see.
out. It's like Guess Who, isn't it? With Steve, with Ian at the moment.
Exactly. Certainly for us, those highlighted in red games are the games that obviously didn't go ahead for whatever reason. That's whether it's weather or COVID, etc. Because we've got to remember Burnley Spurs was weather related, but our choices will be saved, and when those games are played, extra points would be added, because you can see at the bottom there we've got a section that says points from postponed games, so they will be added on later. So God willing that the games go ahead, and we've got a small matter of a Carling Cup game first, but we jump to Boxing Day when we'll all be absolutely sat there going, oh, I shouldn't have had that extra little mince pie. No, you should have had the mince pie. You shouldn't have had the second helping of turkey, roast potatoes, and Brussels sprouts. Thank you.
No, forget your Brussels sprouts. No, they can get in the bin like the team that Liverpool are playing against.
I love Brussels sprouts at Christmas,
and that's why a lot of people don't like you, isn't it? You like Brussels sprouts. Never trust a man that lives. Never trust a person that loves Brussels sprouts.
This is it. Yeah, I mean, Leeds. My God, what happened last week? Didn't see that coming.
No, I mean, that's probably because they were playing Arsenal, and we didn't expect Arsenal to actually, put in a performance worth watching, but they did. But I said this on Doug's channel, I think I probably said this for a few weeks running about Leeds. The one thing that Bielsa has is, you can say what you like about him as a tactical manager. If he's going to stick to his guns, maybe he's not a genius as people seem to think he is, because he refuses to change how Leeds play. He refuses to change the lineup. And I know people will say, oh, they've got one or two injuries. Two people can't make a team in the Premiership. It's just not allowed. It's just you won't survive. And I think his stubbornness is either going to get Leeds relegated or him the sack, or both. And sorry, I know it was a heated affair, to say the least, between Liverpool and Spurs. But Leeds aren't going anywhere in a hurry. Liverpool will, no doubt, as we discussed, rest a lot of players in the Carabao Cup game. So I only see a Liverpool win, mate. I can't even give a draw for this. It's just Liverpool all the way. I
must admit, good evening to B. Crom. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. How the devil are you? Back for the second helping tonight. Yeah, I've got to be honest with you. I mean, basically, Leeds United are having a Sheffield United sort of season, aren't they? You know, a horrendous second year. And I didn't see that coming either. And, you know, he's got to do something. And he may be lucky that there are worse clubs than Leeds. I've said that. I don't know whether there are worse clubs than Leeds, to be honest with you. Everything they were doing right last season, they seem to be doing wrong, and I just don't get. What's happened to them. It's such a big drop, And before that, 7-0 to Man City. It's those sorts of results, and the players must be thinking, what's going on? Doug's gone for a Liverpool win here. And to be honest with you, I can't see anybody that's not going to go for a Liverpool win, because I certainly am going to agree with you, Brad, and I am going to go for a Liverpool win. We can't
So
say
if
for
we-
Steve on that one because he's not here.
No, just put them in the Leeds win. We know Steve's brain. We know how it works. No, I'm joking.
You don't. Hey, I'm tempted. I don't want him catching me up. There's no reason I asked him on because he was rubbish at predictions. Wolves versus Watford. You quite correctly predicted a draw last week for Wolves with Chelsea. Whether that was more Chelsea than Wolves, because I know Chelsea wanted the game abandoned. Watford, they're still down there, lost 4 on a trot. Claudio, I said at the start, Claudio isn't the man, I don't think, to save a club because, he did that. He proved that with Fulham. And I just think it was the silliest appointment I've seen in ages. And, do owners of these clubs not look at these people's past records? Yes, they won it with Leicester, but he started at the start of the season. He couldn't do it with Fulham. And I will go. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go for a Wolves win on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's at Molineux, isn't it? Wolves have been sturdy. I think Liage or Large or Largo or however you want to pronounce his name.
Largo's a good name.
Yeah, has finally settled in. He got a bit of criticism. It looked like it was going to be a short stay for him, a bit sour in that opening couple of 4 to 6 games, but he's found the balance. He's kind of done a Ranieri, as Leicester fans might say. When I say he's kind of just adapted Nuno's work and just gone back to laying the foundations again on what Nuno did well, which was shore Wolves up at the back and make them hard to break down. If you don't concede and you only score 1 goal, you're winning the game, aren't you?
Yeah.
Michael Owen once said. And I'm going to agree with you here. I think Wolves, it will be a tough game, but exactly the score that Doug's just put up there. I'm going for a tight win for Wolves.
Yes. I mean, they remind me a little bit of Leicester in our Great Escape year in the fact that they're not getting stuffed by anybody. They're not getting a 7-0 like Leeds did. But just hang on 1 second. Steve said, Steve's been in prison.
He's playing Monopoly.
No, he was in a prison.
Oh, okay. Really? Hell. Wow. What did he do? Go on.
He was working in a prison. He apologises. That's why he couldn't message me.
Yeah, he's getting sentenced by the judge.
He says he's been working, but who knows? Yeah, they're not getting stuffed by anybody, Watford. But
no,
we remember when we were like that in the Great Escape year, we were losing 2-1, 1-0. But I just don't rate Ranieri as a relegation battler. Burnley, Everton. Now, Burnley, Brad, I mean, they're 11 points. I mean, I think that's equal to what Derby had, wasn't it, in the lowest ever. Give them credit, they did get a draw with West Ham last time out, but 21 goals conceded. But then they're up against Everton, who've conceded 29 and are on just as bad a run as they are. They did manage to beat Arsenal, but no disrespect to Arsenal, it depends which Arsenal turn up. You can just as easily beat them as you can lose to them. I think for me, I'll go first again on this one. I think it's a boring 0-0 or 1-1. To be honest with you, one of those what we say last on the festive match of the day.
I've just got a funny feeling because when I was doing this earlier, as you know, on Doug's channel, it clicked in my mind. I remember Everton were in some form of form. I can't remember if they were in really good form or really bad form, but I'm pretty sure Burnley were having a sort of not as bad, at least not points wise, but a bad season as they were doing at this point. And it was around this period they actually played Everton, and then out of nowhere they absolutely slapped them up 5-0. And I've just got this feeling that Burnley are going to get 3 points. I've been saying it for a few weeks. I reckon Rafa's a game or two away from being kicked out the door at Everton. You know my opinions on how the fans have reacted to Rafa at Everton. So yeah, I'm actually going to go for a Burnley win. I just got this feeling that I'm not saying it'll be 5-0, but I do have a feeling that Burnley are going to get 3 points from this.
Right. I mean, it's a good point. I don't know. I mean, I know Everton got a point against Chelsea, and I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. Again, a bit like the Spanish Inquisition. Everton getting something at the moment. Whether they raise their games, I mean, was that the game? I think Damari Gray had a good game in that game, but
don't mention that, Tim.
No, but the thing is, he doesn't, like, we know him from Leicester. He's just as likely to get a deck chair out and put it on the, just outside the 6-yard box as he is to have a great game. They're lost, won, lost, drawn, Everton. They're just sliding down the table. I mean, the good thing is, like we say about ourselves, one win and you're back in it, in fairness to them. They are on 19 points. But no, there we go. I'm going to stick with my draw. And, young man.
Hello.
Free the Steve one. Free the Steve one.
Yeah, he's even wearing orange. Look at that. He weren't in no prison doing any work. He was breaking out.
I wish I could, I tell you.
I couldn't remember whether I'd actually told you it was. I know I said it was 9 o'clock. We're going to do three weeks, but I couldn't remember whether I'd said it was Monday or not. So.
And I'll tell you what, don't ever go off the straight and narrow. It's so scary in those places.
Yeah. Do you mean to say that they're not all that there, like getting foot massages and colour TVs in the room and?
Oh no, they want to kill you through the doors.
Oh God! Hey, well, you didn't come across any Nottingham Forest fans. They probably would have gone for you if they knew who you were.
Oh yeah, fair play, yeah.
And at least you didn't want to make one of those really bad mistakes where you actually boarded yourself in and you couldn't get out.
I tell you what, it's so unbelievable what you have to go through to get in them places and do your work. I tell you.
And it makes me laugh at because you say that, but then somehow they get mobile phones and drugs in and what have you, don't they?
I don't know how they do it, but I tell you what. It's embarrassing. Like they strip search and every half hour you have to go out and get checked and stuff like that. And unbelievable.
Well, hopefully we've not scared the Liverpool fan off that's in. Good evening, Doug.
Yeah.
Sorry, Doug, couldn't resist it, mate. Well, we've not actually given you any. I've got to be honest with you. Brad was for us giving you really bad choices and said that you've got to have those because you're in late. But I said, Brad, no, that wouldn't be fair on Steve. We know we can go against Tottenham and Arsenal, but not the others.
No, he was voting for it.
I'll tell you what, that's why my hatred for Tottenham's even worse. Did you see it against Liverpool?
Yeah.
Yes.
I tell you what, such an injustice, man.
Kane shouldn't have lasted the 90 minutes. I think
there is something about being England captain that means you can't get sent off. When was the last time I remember an England captain not getting sent off? Oh, it was Shearer when he stamped all over Neil Lennon's face.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me that clip.
Yeah. No, it's true, but Doug has gone for an Everton win here. I think he's getting his votes in now before he gets carted off to jail. Sorry, Doug, I'm going to have to stop the Liverpool jokes, aren't I? So just to play catch up here, Steve, Liverpool at home to Leeds United.
Yeah, you got to fancy Liverpool.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I tell you what, you were so spot on, Brad, with your thing saying that Leeds are going to cop one, and I couldn't believe it. I was going, if I got your number, I'd have phoned you. I couldn't believe the score when I saw it.
7-0. Oh no,
I couldn't believe it myself, to be honest with you, mate. I thought, maybe I've been a bit boisterous against Leeds. Watch them go and pull something out. When I saw the score, I was like, Jesus.
But then, Brad, you did go for Leeds to beat Arsenal, and you, Steve.
I know,
Yeah, but to be fair, we've already said this. It's Arsenal. Can you blame us?
Fair enough. Give me my moment of pleasure. I don't have many in this
I'll tell you what,
show.
Steve. I did a you, didn't I? Because I was the only one I think that went with a draw between Chelsea and Wolves.
Yeah.
Chris was telling me.
You were talking of Wolves, Steve. Wolves, Watford.
Wolves, I think, are going to win that. I'm getting quite impressed with Wolves at the moment. I think they're starting to get back to where they were before. I think they've got a rhythm about it now. It's just that the only thing that's stopping them at the moment, they're not scoring enough goals, are they? But
no.
The
But
way
then a 1-0 win still gives you 3 points as much as a 7-0 win.
It does, yeah, correct.
You know.
Yeah, it only sorts out your order on match of the day.
No, this is true. This is true. Burnley, Everton.
Burnley, I'm going for. I think Burnley's due one.
See, he's learning, Chris. He's been on the show long enough now. He's following my answers and not yours.
The thing is, though, Steve, you've said that every week for like the past 5 weeks. Burnley deserve one. Burnley going to get one. You know, 1 week it will come true, and you'll go.
It's done this week. I really like
you
Burnley.
that.
I do. I really like Burnley. I think it's a shame because some of the games that they play really, really well, and they get beat by the odd goal or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, it's never a trouncing. I don't think in a way. It's always like, a slog for them. I feel sorry for them, but I do like Burnley.
I have a soft spot for Burnley. It's a swamp at the bottom of my garden, but I do, obviously, having lived there for 20 years, I do have a soft spot for them, but I do think they're going to struggle. Now then, Brad, the biggest game of the weekend. We have actually played them before on Boxing Day, and we have beaten them, but Manchester City versus Leicester.
Well, Doug reminded me and cheered me up today by reminding me that the last time we played Man City in the league at Manchester, we beat them 5-2.
Yeah,
wasn't? And we also beat them in and just for Chris, because it's Christmas, I'm going to say it's the English Super Cup, or as its common name is, the Community Shield.
English Super Cup.
There you go. So actually, like I've said this before, we probably actually have a decent record against Man City. It's just unfortunately sometimes we've suffered, like most teams do against Man City. We've had a beating in there. I think if you looked over our record, we've actually got a decent win record against Man City. I can probably think of a few decent wins for against them. And you know what? Maybe it's the spirit of Christmas. Maybe I'm feeling like I can be charitable and because it's my team, and let you guys take the easy swing at going for Man City, and I'll go for Leicester. Because I fancy us. I do. I don't know what it is. There's something about the way things have gone for football recently. Spurs getting chucked out of their own cup. Go for it. Why not? I'll have Leicester, mate.
Which way do you see this one?
I'm hoping Vardy plays because I think Vardy suits that big pitch.
Yeah.
But I can't see Leicester beating him, but I'd like to see him get a draw. So I'm going to go for a draw, I think, on this one.
Top man, Steve. Right. I love that. If Vardy does love a goal against Man City, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the big pitch suits him, but you've got to have the system around him. Because I think if Brendan Rodgers goes there thinking I'm going to try and pay a bank of 5 and a bank of 5 to try and stop the goals going in, you will get a cricket score. But I think if he goes with the belief that we can get at these at home, and I think, it'll be a good game.
They do hold a high line, and that's when we tend to beat them, when they hold a high line and we attack them.
Yeah.
I would say Manchester City do play a style that does suit us.
Yeah. But you have to be working together, though, then you all have to be doing it. If there's a weak link, that's when you get took apart. But if Leicester are on the game, I keep going back to the Man United game when they beat, give them a cracking game. If they do exactly the same on that and everybody's on form, it could be a win. But I'm going to settle for that one.
I think for me, Doug says they're 3-1 Man City, but he'd like the 5-2 to Leicester, wouldn't we all? With that 5-2, they hadn't got a main defender, I think. They bought a new defender in the week after. Were we not their first game after the COVID break? Or
Hold on. 50. They've spent an infamous 50 million on the legend that is Nathan Ake, that's played about 6 games for them afterwards, but they still spent money on him. They had the rugby player with the rugby hat on. Good defence, that.
But no, I mean, and we did get a few penalties that day. You know, we beat them, and that's all that matters. And in the English Super Cup, we beat them. Although, in fairness, they probably had, you know, the baby team out. I'm never going to go against my team. I'm going to agree with Steve on this one, and I'm going to go for a draw. Because I do remember the last time we played them on Boxing Day, I think we might have beaten them under Claude Puel. He would have gone earlier, yes. I think, had it not been for that.
Yes, Ricardo scored the winner in that game, if I remember rightly, because we beat Chelsea as well, either just before it or just afterwards.
I was in a house of Manchester United fans that Boxing Day, so we were all happy. There. Yeah, we were all happy. Yeah. I'll put you down for Norwich, Steve, shall I?
Yes, please. Yeah, love it. Love it.
He's going to get it all right one night, one week, and just because of his hatred.
Just agitate me, and you know, even the manager on the sideline, who the hell hears him on the pitch when he's throwing his arms up in the air and he's like pretending to talk, and you know, with the crowd and the modern day football now, surely it's the only guy standing right in front of him is going to hear him. But oh no, he's too false. No, I hate him.
He's doing a Spice Girls, is he, Arteta? Miming. Brad?
I'm actually going to go for a draw here because I think Norwich are a different animal at home. I said this on Doug's channel. I think Norwich, yes, they don't do so well away from home, but Dean Smith has them working well at home. And they were very unlucky against Manchester United. He's definitely improved them all round, Dean Smith. And, you know, like you said, which Arsenal turns up? Is it the Arsenal that played against Everton, or is it the Arsenal that played against Leeds? If it's somewhere in between, I could genuinely see Norwich getting a point for it. So, yeah. I'll go for a draw.
I mean, I think Norwich they've had the manager bounce, if you could call it that, with Dean Smith, a couple of draws. They've lost 3 on the bounce to Tottenham, Man United, and Villa, although only a 1-1 and a 2-0, in fairness. Arsenal, you know me, you know, when I was asked to name my least favourite team, it is Arsenal at the moment in the Premier League, closely followed by Leeds, but they are coming back, you know. They've won 3 on the trot. Southampton, West Ham, that was a good win for them, and of course the Leeds one. I'm actually going to make it a full house here because I'm going to go for an Arsenal win. They got me a point last week. Come on, Arsenal. Come on, Arteta. Get me a point this week. Steve hates me now.
Arteta's at the wheel.
And Steve, how many Crystal Palace going to beat Tottenham by?
3-0.
We knew when we got to these, had you not come in, that we could actually put your name down for Palace and Norwich on these.
Honestly, guys, I was so wound up yesterday. It was unbelievable because you know you got a referee that's there to run the game. Like he gave Kane a yellow card, nobody protested from Liverpool. They got on with the game, and then they give Robertson a yellow card. You had all the Tottenham players around the referee. You had everybody there, blah, blah, blah. But he gave me a yellow card and the game carried on. And then the intervention of VAR, which I couldn't understand why. Because if you look at the tackle, really, you know, Kane's was really worse. But
yeah,
your man, the left back, was it? I can't remember who it was now, the right back. Royal, is it Royal? He saw Robertson come
like that.
And he put his leg across. So in front of the ball. So, you know, Robinson took his leg and the ball. And I think, you know, he felt like if Kane can get away with it, and then, you know, fair play, I'll have a go.
I certainly don't know how the Kane one didn't go to VAR if the Robertson one did. I really don't get that at all, you know. And that's I think what annoys people is the inconsistency in it all. Like Brad said earlier, you know,
because of the real time of the game, you know, they look 2 tackles which the referee gave a yellow card for. But then when VAR gets involved and he slows down the Liverpool one, he says, "Oh yeah, it looks worse than it was," so they send him off. But then Kane's was even worse because how many times have you seen players sent off this season and last season for lesser tackles, but with the intent? And the intent was there. And,
which one of you has got a computer bleeping every 3 seconds? Is that you, Chris?
I think it's my daughter, and she's got everything clicking onto it, mate.
I would say it's not me. I wish I had a woman who was that persistent. I'll tell you.
If I try and stop it, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I might just lose both.
No worries, mate. I just try to think in case you couldn't hear it yourself.
Brad?
You know what? I'm really starting to get on board on this Spurs hatred just because of how passionate and how proud he is to speak about it. Nothing against himself. It goes for it. But Crystal Palace have been impressing me this season. And look, and again, to back up exactly what Steve just made the point about the 2 tackles, I came on and spoke on here, didn't I, when we was discussing the win against Newcastle, and we brought and obviously elephant in the room was James Maddison's penalty, and I said, if that's given, fine, but then you give it every game here on after. You don't give it. You cannot give it on an opinion basis. At the end of the day, if you're not checking that challenge, fine. You don't check the other one. You don't decide to not check one and then check the other. That just causes exactly what it's caused, and that's chaos, arguments, rows, managers losing their heads. People getting fines for saying the wrong thing and having outbursts on Sky. It's causing so much drama, and there's no need for it. It's unbelievably easy to do this, and they just got it so wrong in that game. It's unbelievable. I'm gonna say that Palace caused the upset. I'm gonna join Steve on this one. I'm gonna buy Palace to break that Conte run that they're kind of buzzing on a little bit. And I think maybe it's because I'm a strong believer in karma. I think what goes around comes around, and they got very lucky with decisions and everything against Liverpool. And I think Palace will beat them.
They did.
I'd love it to be a VAR penalty that they don't think they deserved.
Doug's gone for the draw there. I agree with what you're both saying on that. And as I say, I honestly think Kane should have gone. That was by far the worst of the 2 tackles. And how can you refer the second one to VAR if you're not referring the first one when he virtually broke his ankle? That said, the players can only play as they are allowed to. They don't make the decisions as to whether they're sent off. The ref and VAR make those decisions. As a neutral, to be honest with you, I haven't been watching much non-Leicester football this season, but I have a new dongle or whatever it's called that allows me to. And I thought I wasn't so good the other night. I thought I'm going to watch that game, and I didn't want it to finish. My God, it was talk about end to end, and had Palace got the shooting boots on, what if Dele Alli had been a better player than he probably is in his own mind? There's no reason that Tottenham couldn't have won that. It was a brilliant game to watch. I really, really enjoyed it as a neutral. So for that reason, I'm going to go for Tottenham because I think they're on a run. I think Conte is going to get them fired up, especially as they have just been kicked out of the conference. They're going to sort of be up for that. So I think, I'm afraid, sorry again, Steve, you weren't talking to me after Arsenal, so you're definitely not going to be talking to me after I've picked Tottenham. Steve, West Ham, Southampton.
West Ham are due a win. So they had everyone, they've gone off the ball a bit. Southampton, I think will go there looking for a draw. I can't see them going out there to win. So I fancy West Ham to get back on the winning ways.
You go for West Ham. And Brad?
This is actually quite a tough one because I've stated this over the last few weeks. West Ham's mentality kind of reminds me. I've said this before as well. Kind of reminds me of Leicester of the last 2 seasons. They're doing well because they're beating teams that a lot of times, and we've sat here for a lot of weeks going, oh, they're playing Man City, they're playing blah, 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 they're going to lose. We're not really backing to win. But then when they play a team like Southampton and we expecting them to win, they're not getting results. But every run, good or bad, comes to an end. And I didn't do it in Doug's stream, but I am on this. I'm going to agree with Steve. I'm just going to say, I don't think it'll be classic by any means, but I am going to back West Ham to win. I think it'd be a very scrappy win that they need to get their form back off. Otherwise, there'll be questions about West Ham and David Moyes in the next coming weeks if their run continues.
I'm going to make it a full house because Southampton, they haven't won in the 5 matches that I'm seeing. I don't know how far back it goes, but they've certainly not won in the last 5. They're safe at the moment, but if Burnley or Newcastle put a run together, 6 points, it can easily be caught up. But lost, drawn, lost, drawn. They drew with Palace last week, but West Ham lost, drawn, won, drawn, lost. There's certainly seasons slowed down, but it is a funny season where nobody's, apart from the big, the 2 at the top, nobody's really pulling away. They're all doing the best to try and lose it, but I do like West Ham this season, and I think they will do that and get the 3 points at home. Steve, Aston Villa, Chelsea.
Right, Chelsea. The problem I see with Chelsea, I think it's the same thing you got with Leicester. I think the manager has got a system how he wants to play, and I don't think he's got a plan B. I think he's been playing win, lose or draw the same way, and I think he's still going to keep doing that for the rest of the season. So Chelsea to come out and do what they have been doing. Teams are starting to suss them out now, and I can't see Villa winning it, but I think Villa will get a draw out of this one, purely the way Chelsea are playing, because win, lose or draw, they're not changing what they're doing. So people are getting sussed out too, and I don't think the manager can see it. I think he's too clued up with tactics and how he wants the team to play that he can't see any difference. That's my opinion of him at the moment. Yeah. So I think we're all going to get a draw on this one.
Brad, Steven Gerrard. Is he going to get winning ways?
Well, this is a team that he slipped up against, isn't it? So this is his last. Literally. So maybe it's written, isn't it? Agent Gerrard told his Villa lads to put in a good shift against Liverpool, but make sure they get the points. And we've got Chelsea coming up, so we'll dish them. And honestly, Villa are impressing me. All kidding aside, and all the jokes we make about the ability of Scottish League football, he's done a really good job. He's one of the few ex-players that have become managers over the last few years that have really actually got any credit to their name in terms of longevity in a job, not necessarily who they've managed. And I'm actually going to go for a Villa win. I'm agreeing with Steve. I think the faultlessness of Tuchel not changing things, this is going to be a damaging defeat, I think, for Chelsea. I actually can see Villa winning this just because it's at Villa Park.
Well, Villa have sort of literally won, lost, won. So in my mind, they're actually due to lose this one. To me, that's scientific for you, isn't it? Don't worry, lads. We're going to win the next one because we've won, lost. And
I've been enjoying that all season.
It's not working for you, mate. I'm sorry. No. You made me change my mind now. Now, I see, to me, the fact that Tuchel has his plan and he sticks to it is why he's done reasonably well. I mean, he's won in the Champions League. He got him to an FA Cup final. It's got him into the top 4. And I just think the players know what's expected of them. On the last game, in fairness, Chelsea wanted it called off because of the players that were ill. I'm going to go back. I'm going to split it again down the middle, and I'm going to go for Chelsea for that one. I think they're going to come back on the late or morning Sunday game. Sky Sports again on the Sunday. Steve, Brighton, Brentford.
Well, I saw on my phone today that Brentford are crying that they can't get a team out, and I think if they make them play, I think Brentford are going to do them. Brighton are going to do them, because if he's bitching about he can't get a team now, then I can't see him. I can't see him beating Brighton.
No. I mean, Graham Potter, we just know that he's an expert at these sort of things, isn't he, Brad? And he'll know what he's doing. The great Potter.
Yeah, you know how you can already predict that Steve's going to go against Spurs and Arsenal. Yeah, just put a nice B next to Brentford, mate.
Yeah.
Just get out there. Let's just get that out of the way and done. Because
no, I have
as
done
long as
that
it keeps
for
ruining
you.
Graham Potter's reputation, I'm not arsed. I'll stop being harsh to Brighton when the hype dies down and people stop begging people to enjoy Graham Potter crap football.
I was listening to, I think it was Talk Sport, and they were on about the fact that he's done a psychology degree in something to do with football at uni. And I'm like, well, I say, I agree with you totally with the hype about them. But it's funny this now. Brighton are actually down in 13th. So their peak of when they were in the top four didn't last very long. In fact, on goal difference, they are behind Brentford, but they both got 20 points. So I can't split these. I'm going to go for a draw on this one, simply because, as I say, Brighton, I was going for them earlier in the season, but like I say, I think it's just gone off now. Newcastle, Steve, how bad is it for Newcastle at the moment? They haven't had the only way to sum it up is what Brad says. You can't polish a turd, and I think we've seen that, and he hasn't had the bounce that say Gerrard had at Villa. So maybe that they are as bad, and they are going to be the richest club in the second tier.
They're just so frustrating. Your best players are gone. He plays them as a sub, so Maximum, and I can't fathom that one out. You look at the front line that they've got, and he should be there all the time, but I don't know what to say about them. They're that frustrated. I feel sorry for the fans. I really do. And even when the January thing comes through, I don't know if the league allows it, but they need to buy 20 players and get rid of the 20 they've got. That's the only way. That's the only way you'll see an improvement in Newcastle, because if you add 1 player, 2 players, 3 players, you're still not going to see a change out of them, because there's 7 more bad players than the 3 or 4 good players they're going to bring in. So,
I mean, is it Willock who how do you pronounce it, that kind of saved them on his own last season, and he's gone decidedly average?
Yeah, because I don't know if it's a confidence issue, or I don't know if it's the wrong tactics they're playing, but they'll look good for 5 minutes and then they're awful for 85.
Yeah.
There's no grey areas with them, is there? It's either black or a red, but Man United.
You wanted to say black or white, didn't you? And that would have been funny, Steve. You missed the chance there. You missed the chance.
I see him struggling. I see him struggling all year because, like I say, if they bring in 2 or 3 players, I can't see it making a difference.
Yeah, I can't feel sorry for them, Brad, the Newcastle fans, because if they do go down, we know they're going to go down for 1 season, and they'll just spend what they have to get out, and then spend more to stay up. So it is the lull before the storm, really. But can you see them getting anything hosting Man United?
No. The only thing I can see them getting from Manchester United is confirmation that they can look forward to Barnsley away on a Tuesday night, because this is going to be another beating. I don't care if it's Man U. I don't care what people say about Man U being a one-man team, or this Ragnick not getting the respect he deserves for turning Man U's form around. Man U are winning this game. It's easy. They are a turd and you cannot polish them. And I'm on about Newcastle. They are a turd and you cannot change them.
Agree totally with you on that one. I think Doug's gone because we've not had a score off him since Villa. So no Brighton or Man United prediction off Doug. Right, so that's the Boxing Day matches done. Just to let you know, Steve, as you can see there, that was last week. So the red games are games that have been postponed. So when they are played, I couldn't decide whether to do redo the predictions, but in all fairness, they're going to be one game here, two there, one there, and it will go on. So what I've decided to do is I will take whatever predictions we've made for that game, and I will carry that forward to that game. So you can see there's an extra line I've put in that says points from postponed games. And I just realised that I was showing you my other screen, and not on this one. So there's the red for the games that have been cancelled off. There's the score at the moment. Steve, you maybe want to give up on you. Maybe you need to go for Arsenal and Tottenham a little bit now, mate. You're falling behind.
No, that'll never change.
But no, I will carry the points, as you can see there, points from postponed games. I'll carry that forward and add those in as we go through the weeks and the matches are being played. I think that's the easiest and the fairest way to do it. Yeah, you're both happy with that, guys?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, if you had showed me them as a do you want to change it or not, I don't think there'd be too many I'd change. And even then, I don't like changing it once I set my mind on it. So that's fair. Works for me.
Right, we've got over Christmas. It's come to the 28th, only 2 days, and we're all sort of thinking maybe we should take the dog for a walk, and if we haven't got one, borrow the neighbours to try and get rid of the turkey. Brad, Arsenal, Wolverhampton. Because I know Steve's going to go for Wolves, so I'm just going to put his name there.
Yep.
Brad, how do you see this one?
I'll take us at the wheel. Yeah, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Wolves. And I'm going to join Steve. So Wolves to nick a 1-0. I think they'll do a Leicester, what we did to them at the Emirates last season. I think they'll have one chance, they'll take it, and then they'll go, thanks very much, come at us, and Arsenal won't break Wolves down. I think Wolves could do this and take all 3 points.
All these games are played Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, by the way, just to confuse things. But it's all on Amazon Prime Video if you have that facility. I'm going for the draw. I think Arsenal are just unpredictable. I think Wolves are as well. So I can see this. No, I don't think it'll be a 0-0, but I can see it being a draw. Crystal Palace are hosting Norwich. Steve, are you going for Norwich again here?
No, I think I'm going to go for Palace on this one. I think, like Brad said earlier, Norwich are better at home, and they're playing a lot better from home. I think Palace will do them in midfield, so I feel that Crystal Palace will beat Norwich.
Brad?
Yeah, there's part of me that thinks this might be one of them last of the day and it's 0-0, but I can't. I'm impressed. I have to admit, I have to hold my hands up. I'm impressed with Palace. I didn't think Vieira and Palace were going to work, and they seem to be going well together. So Palace at home is kind of like Norwich at home. They're a different animal, and they don't even do that bad away from home themselves. So I'm going for a Palace win here.
I'll join you guys, and I've got to 100% agree with you, Brad. Shows I know nothing about football, because I said Palace would struggle this season and Vieira would struggle as being manager, and they've shown me. I say I know absolutely nothing. Southampton host Tottenham. Steve, do you think Southampton are going to actually do you a favour here?
I hope so. I'm going to go for Southampton purely because it's the home venue.
Yeah,
and they've got to change their.
And the fact that you can't stand Spurs.
I know people might take it the wrong way, but it's it's really.
No, we all have teams that we hate. That is totally allowed. That's called football, mate. That is totally allowed.
Me, Tottenham are not a football team. They're a money making machine. They don't give a care about the fans. They don't give a care about the league. It's just about what they can get, and then it's the arrogance of the players on the pitch, as though, oh, we can do what I want to you, but you can't do anything to us. And it's it goes back a long, long time, and it's getting worse to me. And
I just say, if that's your daughter's boyfriend, my God, they're having a good conversation, aren't they? I'd get it up and see what they're talking about.
there's a gang of 6 girls, and they're
Oh,
constantly
God, yes.
onto each other all the time.
They probably saw each other a couple of hours ago as well. You know,
I just had to go in the bedroom and just get a laptop for quick and say, I need it. So I haven't figured out how to turn this bleeping off, and if I do, I might.
Oh no, you best not to, because you'll only ruin it for her, and then you'll have ruined her Christmas, Dad. Brad, Southampton or Spurs?
Yeah, this is one of them, isn't it? Where, again, kind of like West Ham, I feel like Spurs are going to run out of steam eventually. I think the effect's going to wear off. Harry Kane will be looking at his calendar going, yeah, obviously, 100 million Man City, here will come. That's what he'll be thinking and hoping. So he'll go backpacking. He'll be done in now, because it means that Levy will have to lower his value, so he'll be able to get his move. And I've got a sneaking feeling that Ralph gets a result here. Of course, no, now we've all said that, it'll probably be 9-0 to Spurs, and Steve will never come on the show again. But I feel Southampton, these will be the sort of results that they look back on and go, wow, for how crap our season was, that win against Spurs really was a great 3 points, and they're looking back at it as what kept them in the division.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree with you guys. I'm going for Tottenham away. I'm actually starting a bit of a Tottenham loving here, aren't I? I just think Conte's going to get them G'd up. They know that the transfer window is only just around the corner, and Conte will have demanded funds because he's taken the job. I don't think he'd have taken the job if he wasn't being given funds, and I think he will have them up for that one. So, yeah, for me.
Sorry, Chris, you said the transfer windows around the corner, and going back to your comment you made earlier, I was just thinking, yeah, knowing Dali Ali, you'd still find a way to miss that.
Boom, boom. Like it. Yes, hide your face in shame there, Bradley. Hide your face in shame.
How dare you use that name against me?
But it was funny. It was funny. Steve, Watford, West Ham.
Watford. I'm going to go Watford on this one. I think because it's a London derby, small pitch. I think it's going to be it's not going to be a football spectacle. I think it's been a raggedy game, which Watford will come out on top.
Brad, do you agree with Steve?
Unfortunately, on this occasion, no, I don't. I am going to back the Hammers to, if they're still on bad form at this game, I reckon this is the sort of opposition they will need to get themselves that win that gets them back on track for top 6. So I'm going to go for West Ham to win this one.
I'm going to disagree with both of you because that's the sort of guy I am. Live on the edge. I'm going to go for the draw, I think, because it's at Watford. If it was at West Ham, I'd go for them. But I think it's Watford. Like Steve said, it is a London derby. And I just think they are going to get the point, to be honest with you. Leeds Villa. Steve.
Well, I have been backing Leeds quite a lot lately, but
yeah,
I think they're in bad trouble. I think the manager's lost it. I think he's lost control of the players. I think he's lost control of what Leeds stand for, and I think he's in a right mess. And I can see Villa,
I mean, he's only won 3 games this season.
Yeah, but it's, you look at the Leeds of last year and the Leeds of old. They were there. They were in the games all the time, but they look a shambles at the moment.
I must admit, I watched a very interesting documentary last night about who owns Leeds United, and I don't think anybody actually knows who owns them. I think there must be about 15 people that own less than 10%, because that way they don't have to announce it to the Premier League. But it's a very, very dodgy club by the look of it. I don't know how they're managing to.
Well, they got in a financial mess, didn't they, with the old Alan Smith transfer? That was a very big. They got into considerable debt, which is why they lost all their talent.
Yeah, they did. They made a right cock up of their thing. So you're going for a Villa win, Steve?
I am, yeah.
I'm going to agree with you, I'm afraid. I just think Leeds are going to lose it, and they're going to be dragged into that relegation battle, which I thought was going to be between 4 clubs, but I think Leeds are going to be dragged down into it as well. Do you agree, Brad?
Yeah, last year I'd have probably had this down as a humdinger of a draw, something like a 2-2, but I just cannot see Leeds getting anything at the moment, and this could be the game. And I know I've been saying it for a few weeks, and normally manager gets a bit more time on this, but with how bad it has been collectively for Leeds, I could see this being a Villa win, and this could be Bielsa's last game in charge.
There's no sentiment we know in football. Look at we make a joke about Watford changing the managers like most people change their underwear. Chelsea, they win the Champions League. A couple of months later, they kick the manager out. Leicester, we got rid of the manager that won us the Premier League. I happen to think it was the right decision. So, yeah, I mean, he's loved at Leeds for what he's done, and he's got them back there after so long. But totally agree with you. I just think I don't know how a team can go from being so good to so bad. Sheffield United did it last term, but they did, they actually got rid of the manager midway through, which I don't think helped. But yeah, I just don't know what's happening with Leeds. Unfortunately, I could see them getting dragged in. If Newcastle make the right purchases in January, they might finish 17th and Leeds be in the bottom 3. Leicester, Liverpool, Steve.
You've got to go for Liverpool. No disrespect to Leicester, but Leicester have got to be on top form and get 3 goals in front, because Liverpool, no matter even if they go behind, they're always a threat, and the threat stays there for the 90 minutes. So if Leicester were 3-0 up in the first 20 minutes, then great, game over. But I can't see Leicester doing that. And even if Leicester do go ahead with the 1 goal, Liverpool are going to come back, because they do it week in, week out, and it's for 90 minutes. So I don't think Leicester have got the 90 minutes concentration and formation to Liverpool. So sorry to say, it's a Liverpool win.
We can beat Newcastle, Brad, but we can't do the same against Liverpool in the league. I mean, I think they are going to prioritise the league over the League Cup. And, we might do them a favour against Man City, but they know that they can't get anything wrong. They slipped up against Tottenham. I mean, as I said before, it was a great game, but, they got the draw. It's built a bit of a gap up now with Man City. I mean, they're both on plus 35, which is scary. But I do know, obviously, we're Leicester, Brad, through and through.
Yeah, we are. And you know what? I'm going to make the same statement I did about Man City, apart from that glaring 4-0 defeat we took, I think, back in 2019. We actually have a decent record against Liverpool when it comes to playing at the King Power. Beat them last year, after the goalkeeper rugby tackled his own defender.
Yeah.
Beat them on our way to win the league. Beat them after Ranieri's sacking. We're going to beat them again. Leicester are winning this one, and I tell you what, I know we don't do it. I'll be as bold to say as Leicester will win this game 3-1.
I can't be that confident. I'm going for a draw, and I know I'm sitting on the fence again. I can't vote against my team. I can't, but we couldn't have had a harder Christmas, could we, really? Liverpool in the Carling Cup, and then the top 2 in the next 2 games. It would just be typical of Leicester to beat Man City, beat Liverpool, and then go and lose to Norwich on the 1st of January. But I think
no spoilers.
If you were to give me 2 points now against those 2 teams, Man City and Liverpool, I would absolutely bite your hand off, and I am going to go for the draw. Brad, I'll come back to you with this one because Graham Potter's taking his team down just up the road to Chelsea.
Sorry, is that for me?
Yeah.
I thought you said you were leaving me out of it because you're going straight to Steve. But no, again, do a Steve with Spurs, and this is where Chelsea.
You want me to?
end
I
their
can do that for you. I wasn't sure if you were being serious or not, which is why I came to you first.
Oh no, mate! This is where Chelsea, Timo Werner, and Lukaku find their form and batter Brighton heavily. Chelsea winning this, no contest.
I agree, Steve.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brentford are hosting Manchester City, Steve. This is only going to go one way, isn't it?
One way, and I think it's how many they're going to score.
Yeah.
I think it's, I don't think Brentford could even get a draw out of it.
No.
Man City too classy. What you see of them all over the pitch, and yeah, railroad it.
No, I agree totally. Going to make it a full set, Brad?
No, I'm not actually. Brentford at home were very unfortunate against Chelsea. Everybody thought they were going to get battered. All right, they lost the game, but they didn't get battered. Everybody thought they were going to get absolutely thraped by Liverpool. And if it wasn't for a delayed pass, they actually would have won that game 4-3. I'm going to go for a draw. I think I can just sense Brentford doing something here and managing to nick a result from it.
It pains me to do this to you, Brad, but I've got to give you one of these.
I don't mind, mate. I love that laugh.
It pains me because you're on 77 points. You're 8 points ahead of me, so I can't say that you don't know what you're talking about. But any excuse to play that laugh cheers me up. Oh my God, this will be the last game on Match of the Day on the 28th. I tell you, 0-0 written all over it. As it, guys, Everton, Newcastle. Will Rafa still be there, Steve?
I think this is going to be a saviour for Rafa. I think, like you say, it's the time to play Newcastle. I think because of his ties with Newcastle, I think they'll be, I think they'll come out on this one quite easy, 2-0.
Right, brothers.
I think this will be like one of them sketches where Rafa will be at home, drunk, mumbling to himself, and then he'll turn on Match of the Day to see the scores, and he'll see Everton have won 3-0, and he'll be like, "Oh, now you play football. Now I'm not in charge." Honestly, I don't think Rafa's going to be in charge by this game, and he's going to be spitting blood when he sees Everton have cruised to a victory over Turdcastle United.
Castle United. Does anybody ever watch Celebrity Juice?
Yeah.
If you watch it, and I'm a hot and cold with it, but they had the Christmas special on last night. I was crying, and if you follow that Turdcastle link, you'll probably have a good idea what was involved if you haven't seen it yet. But do watch it. Other light entertainment shows are available, of course. I am going for this as being a draw, I'm afraid. If he's not gone by now, then I think he could go for this one. But yeah, I think Newcastle will be up for it with it being Rafa. And these are the games that Newcastle need to get something from. They can't get a point away at Everton, then might as well just pack up and come back in 2 seasons, in my mind. Man United host Burnley, Northwest derby there, Steve.
I think this one's going to be a draw. I think Burnley are going to go there like they usually do, solid. I think Man United will struggle to break them down earlier on. And I think the longer the game goes on, it's going to go into Burnley's hands. But I fancy Burnley to get a draw out of this one.
Right. Brad?
I'm just about sticking to Manchester United winning this, but I would honestly not be surprised if Burnley get a draw from this. But I just sense that this is going to be one of them games that Man U, where the Burnley resistance just breaks near the end or something, and that's the only reason I'm putting my neck out and saying that Manchester United pick up all 3 points.
I agree with you. I just think I don't know where Burnley are going to get the points from at the moment. You know, I mean, you look and they've won one game. You know, we're you know, they've played 15 games, so they have got games in hand. They have got that, but I'd certainly have the points on the table. And the problem with having the games in hand now is that it's not just like you got the odd one because it clashes with Europe, or you got to fit an FA Cup match in because you were playing midweek or whatever. There's going to be a lot of games possibly all coming up, and Burnley just haven't got the squad to handle it. And I really do. I struggle for them this season, I'm not going to lie. So I've got a Man United win there. Well, 2/3 of the way through, guys. We're doing well. We're still there. We've not flagged yet, but we will be back in 10 seconds.
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform, or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Indeed, if you're listening on podcast, thank you very much. 14,000 plays in just over 12 months. That, guys, is amazing. I didn't think that the podcast would take off like that, but 14,000 plays in just over 12 months is totally and utterly unbelievable. So thank you very much. And if you are watching on YouTube and you haven't done yet, please give us a subscribe. It always helps the channel. Always helps the channel. Steve, you're going for Manchester City against Arsenal?
Yep. Can't see Man City losing. Can't see Man City losing at the moment. And I want.
I can't. You know, and I want the run to carry on, especially this game. Yeah.
Because he's little understood. He's going to try and do exactly, what he's doing. So I think that's going to be his undoing, and I think Man City will win it quite comfortable.
It is pupil against master, and I think as much as Arsenal have been on the run, and I've voted for them for the last 2 games, this to me is a Man City win. Brad, would you agree?
Full house, mate. There ain't no other winner. In fact, if Arsenal do win this, then Pep Guardiola might as well announce his resignation and give 30 points to charity. I mean, Derby County. I know I said that the other way around. I meant that. Because you can't lose to Arsenal if you want to win the title the way they're doing this season. Man City should roll these over, even if it is at the Emirates.
Just retype that in. Can you believe it's nearly 2022? I was only thinking the other day, I remember celebrating the new millennium, and God, I'm getting old. Steve, I know you're a Norwich fan. Can you see them coming and getting anything at Leicester?
No. I fancy Leicester for this one.
God, we're going to lose, Brad. Oh, I told you we'd lose against Norwich, didn't I?
You had one job, Steve, not to turn up until this game was done. You still arrived early.
So you're backing us on this one, then?
I'm backing us 100% on this one.
Good lad, Steve. Good man.
Nice one.
I think Norwich suit Leicester.
I think they will. Brad, we struggled against them in the first game. We did beat them, but courtesy of a couple of dodgy VAR decisions. But then, when is a VAR decision not a dodgy one? I'm going for the home win because this is the sort of games we need to start winning. Do you make it a full house? Yeah,
because I think Norwich play into our hands with how Dean Smith has them playing. They're a different animal in a good sense for Norwich fans. They're feeling a lot more optimistic about having a slight chance of staying up, more than they did under Daniel Farke. I just think either way, no matter how it goes for Leicester over the Christmas period, they're either coming into this game wanting to really take their anger out and thrash somebody, or they're going to be on a high because they've just beaten or got decent results out of Man City and Liverpool. So yeah, full house, mate. I think Leicester win this. I think they win it comfortably, if I'm being honest.
And a Watford win for Steve against Tottenham. Brad, which way do you see this one?
Watford win, mate. I think honestly, I think this is one of them. Where did that come from? Results that will be sat here. I honestly do. I think this is one of them where, if we were doing this week by week, obviously because of Christmas we're not able to. I think we'd be sat here. Everybody would. Well, Steve wouldn't, but me and you would be going. It's going to be in a hammering. Spurs are going to win, and then we'd be sat here going, "How did that happen?" I've just got this feeling with Watford, they'll get a result like this over the Christmas period.
I can't believe you've done that. I've got to do this. I can understand.
If you want to just up the league table and show the points, you can play it again and look at your points.
I know. I only play that. Do you notice when we've actually moved further up and the scores are hidden? I presume you're talking about the league table for this one, not the long ball.
Yeah, that's pre-season friendly. We don't care about long ball. Stop mentioning that.
I'm going for a Spurs win. I was impressed with them the other night. I think Conte's got them going well, and I think this will be. I think Watford are going to be possibly again in the bottom three by now. Palace West Ham, Steve.
Palace West Ham, I can see being a draw. I think both teams are going to neutralise each other. I think Palace are going to try and play too much football. West Ham are going to control the game, but I can't see them outscoring Palace too much. So I think it's going to be a draw.
I'm agreeing with you there, Brad.
I think it's going to be a draw. Like, I've actually got a horrible feeling because as much as I think the pair of you were right, it's going to be a good game. I've just got a funny feeling it's going to be one of them entertaining 0-0s. I don't know why. I just feel like they're going to cancel each other out in every department. But I do agree it's going to be a draw.
Yeah. From one claret and blue to another, Brentford hosting Aston Villa and Steven Gerrard. I've got to go. I think Aston Villa will get back on track with this one. I think Brentford, as much as I love them, and I did say they'd finish highest of the three that have come up, that might mean 16th or 17th for them. I can see Steven Gerrard getting this one back on track. How do you see this one, Steve?
Yeah, I agree. I think Villa's going to, second half of the season, I think you're going to see Villa start pushing even more. I think what Brad said earlier was right. I think every Aston Villa player now has raised his game by 20-30%. So you see a change all over the pitch, where before he went, you saw a lot of weak spots in the team. I don't think you can look at the team now, the way they're playing, and say, oh, that's a particular weak spot. So the good thing for Villa is they've got the momentum going. They've got every player now upped his game. So I think Villa will be a force second half of the season.
Yeah, and Brad, full house for you?
Yeah, because as much as I big Brentford up against Man City in the last set of weeks, they seem to just be randomly losing the game against a team like Villa, don't they? Like, I don't like to say it because technically they're not rivals. They're kind of like your wish order version of rivals to us because they're West Midlands, aren't they? They're not East Midlands, but I just see them losing it. I actually think it'd be a comfortable afternoon for Villa for some strange reason. So yeah, full house is all around, mate. We could win a bingo, us three.
Brad obviously thinks Everton will beat Brighton Hove Albion. Steve, do you think this is going to be a Brighton one?
No, I think it's going to be a boring no-goals draw. I can't see Everton scoring. I can't see Brighton scoring either. I think it's just going to be, like you say, one of those games where it's towards the end of the match of the day.
Yeah. I just presumed for you, Brad. You told me to last time, so I just filled you in.
Yeah. I'll keep to my guns this week. But I actually thought I looked at the game and thought, oh, actually maybe my disdain for Gray is the only thing that would make me think it could be a draw. But no, I generally would go for Everton at home in this because Richarlison's back for them, I believe. So yeah, you're right to assume, mate.
A battle of the bottom boys. Leeds host Burnley. White Rose hosting Red Rose. Battle of the Roses. What do you think, Steve?
Because I said earlier, that Leeds look a mess. I think Leeds still will be a mess. So I think this is a good game for Burnley. I think it's the right time to play Leeds. So I think Burnley's going to win this one.
Brad?
So I read the teams and it cured my insomnia. It's Leeds this season and Burnley this season. This just it just yawns of 0-0. It's going to be the last. It's going to be the last on one match today. Whether it's match day 1, 2, or 3, it's going to be the last, and it's going to be 0-0.
You see, I thought that when I was filling these in, because obviously I fill these in advance, and I get in my own mind where it might go. But Burnley need to start getting a win from somewhere. If they can't beat the current Leeds United squad with the way they are playing, pack up and go home, Burnley. Ask Newcastle to sort of stop on the way down to the Championship and pick you up. I just you need to win this, and that is why I am going for the Burnley win, but more in sort of hope rather than expectation. And if that's not last on match of the day, Southampton Newcastle could be, Steve.
Yeah, I think so. But there again, you don't know. It's one of these games again. You look at the match of the day stats saying that Newcastle have got over the next 6-7 games, they've got all the clubs down towards the bottom, and that's where they've picked up all the points so far this season. So they'll be picking up points. So I thought, I fancy him to win this one 1-0. I don't know why, but I just fancy him to win this one 1-0.
Serious? I'm sorry, Steve. A hero, ex-player. I love you to bits, but I've got to give you the odd one here every now and again.
To be fair, by the way he said 1-0 and the tone he said it, I don't even think Steve backs his own prediction. I actually think that Eddie Howe is only going to manage to do one thing by this game, and he's going to add his name to the growing list of sackings. As I think Newcastle are going to do this back poor over the period that a loss to Southampton that'll be it. I think we're going to find out that these Newcastle owners are a bit bloodthirsty. I think. Well, I can't think cutthroat. That was what I was looking for, and I think they'll dismiss him. I think they've done a Spurs. I think Newcastle have done a Spurs in appointing their 76th choice manager. And it's not going well for them. And when this is like 3-0 Southampton at half time, he'll look at his phone and he'll walk down the tunnel because he's been sacked.
I get where you're coming from, and I don't think that we know he wasn't the first choice to go over at Newcastle. That said, the fans love him. I think I don't know what sort of length contract he's been given, but I do honestly think that he is the short-term fix because he did keep Bournemouth up. So they've obviously, I think that's what they were looking at, where Watford didn't go for a manager that can keep teams up. He hasn't got that experience. Eddie Howe has. And if he does take them down this season, he can turn around and go, what did you expect? Like you said, you can't polish your turd. I've been given the dross that you were left with. I've tried to buy 1 or 2 players in January, but it's not enough. As Steve said earlier, I need 20 new players. And they'll leave him in charge. He'll bring them back up. Mid-table respectability. And then...
I think that's where you judge him because, like, when he was at Bournemouth, that was his team. And he built them up over 2 or 3 years, which you can say where he got his success from. He's gone into Newcastle, which is not his team. I still feel his hands are tied. I don't think he's got as much clout as that people think he's got. And I think if Newcastle do go down and they keep him, I think then you'll see a big change in Newcastle because he'll have his own team and and he'll do it the way he wants to. But I think at the moment he's trying to juggle the players he's got, and I don't think I think he does know that the players can't play how he wants them to play, and I think he's just trying to, like you say, trying to get results. But you see a change when he has got his own players there, but buying 3 or 4 in January, that's not going to be his team still. So
no, exactly, totally.
I do like him. I do like him as a manager. I do like him as a manager.
I do. But like I say, I don't think he's necessarily the manager that can win them things, but he's the manager to stabilise the ship. Try and either keep them up or bring them straight back up. I mean, it sounds very much. Do you remember Leicester, Brad, when we went through our boring years when we were in the bottom of the championship, as is now, and it was only a matter of time. It was a case of when we were going to get relegated rather than if. And I honestly don't know if we would be where we are now if we had not gone down. If Ollie had kept us, we might have stuck with Ollie. And yes, I know we got Blackpool into the Premier League, but Nigel came in, he cleaned the ship out. He got rid of who he didn't want. He got players in on loan so that he didn't commit himself. We walked that division, and to me, that was the start of the future success.
Yeah, it was. It was like losing the playoff semi-final to Watford. Everybody will always give a stick for that, but what they don't remember is Watford nearly went down and we ended up flying up through the league and taking it by storm the following season. Things happen for a reason. My opinions on that. That's not just in football, that's in life. Things happen for a reason, and God, that was painful. I would just remember Craig Levine, Rob Kelly, Mad Dog, Megson. Oh, it's Christmas. Why? Why have you brought that up?
Was a collection of Scrooges there, but I think when we had was it? Literally, Alan.
But maybe Newcastle. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
No, I say he literally. I think the first thing he did, I read somewhere, was change the colour of the flowers in front of the stadium to blue and white, because for the colours. I think we had a team of left-sided players when he took over, but I just think sometimes, I say it was always going to be a case of when. We knew we were going to go down, we knew we couldn't survive, and it needed. He was as I believe Conte is, to be honest with you, with Tottenham. Pearson was the right manager, but sometimes you've got to take that step backwards to take 2 or 3 forwards, and I think that's going to be the case with Newcastle.
Yeah, quite possibly, and unfortunately for Newcastle fans, they're probably a bit too used to this as it is. They went through them and their rivals. I'm sorry, Newcastle fans, if you're watching Sweaty, but both them and Sunderland went through a period where even the neutral fans were going, "Oh, for God's sake, will you just get relegated?" Because it was almost like you could feel the pain from you. Like, please,
Wigan. I was the same with Wigan.
And
he hasn't got time. He hasn't got time to change his team, because if you look since he's been there, it's been the same players in the squad for every game. Because he's got loads of squad players like everybody else has. You haven't seen no.
Sorry, Steve. I thought every time I thought you were about to stop.
Sorry.
My fault. No, but people are going to sit here and say, "Oh, Newcastle, they're unlimited FC with the huge takeover." But the thing is, first of all, we know nobody realistically in the hierarchy wants them to have the money. That's why there were so many issues in the takeover altogether. They're going to throw every screw-tile rule they can at them with every transfer they do. So maybe they need a championship squad, because. Does anyone remember what happened to QPR and where they are now when they tried to do it? The Julio Cesars, the Rio Ferdinands, the Joey Bartons, they brought 20, 30 players in, desperately trying to throw it together to keep them up, and then they could build. You know, their idea was to then build upon that, and have a.
Sunderland went down the same route, didn't they? Sunderland, they went down the
Yeah,
same route.
exactly. Maybe Newcastle, as weird as it sounds, I mean, like, you know, after the 14-year reign from Satan himself, they're probably hoping their troubles are behind them. But maybe, like Chris said, sometimes a club needs to take one step backwards before it starts taking 2 steps forward.
Yeah.
They go to a championship, you know, level, as weird as it sounds, you end up buying players that you know are going to fight for the shirt.
Yeah.
Because they know
and
how
it gives you an
difficult.
excuse to get rid of players on the deadwood that you don't want.
Yeah, and
certainly
again,
with regard to the money.
Newcastle's affordability allows them to use these players
Yeah.
that have got 12, 18 months on the contract and then just go, well, off you go. Then you can go to the free agents now.
Yeah, exactly. They can afford
So
to pay them. It's pocket change to them. And I've got to be honest with you, when I was on a Newcastle show the other week after we played them, and I got asked by a Newcastle fan in the chat what I felt about the money and that they'd got. And I just said, you've struck the lottery. You know, I can't complain about their money when, you know, the same thing happened to us. And if it means that they can go up and smash the glass ceiling into the top 4, good. Hit the shit at them. But moving on.
Surely they can only spend a certain amount on the fair play.
Yeah. As far as I understand, though,
so
because of the way
you can have as much money as you want in the world, but you're governed to how much you can spend. So,
you are, but I mean, again, if they get fined, as Manchester City did, it's peanuts to them, the fine. But I also feel that Mike Ashley, I've read this somewhere, I'm sure, but could be wrong, that Mike Ashley, because of the way he was spending money over the past few years, the one good thing he's done for Newcastle is actually leave them in quite a strong position with the financial fair play. But anyway, who knows?
And again, relegation entitles them to parachute payments, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
Liverpool. Before we've turned this into the Newcastle United show, me included. Chelsea Liverpool, Steve, a big game. Liverpool are obviously going to want to win it. If Chelsea can win it, they claws them back up. With Liverpool.
This one is just going to be the same game as the Spurs game. I think it's going to be an end-to-end game, and I think it's going to end the same as well. I think it's just.
Well, Harry Kane's not going to get sent off.
Oh no, he won't get sent off. I'll tell you what, honest to God, the guy.
Sorry, I shouldn't set him off, should I, Chris? I shouldn't set him off.
To be honest, you'll never see him do another challenge like that again in his life. I've never seen him do one like that before. I'll never see him do it. But but he's. I don't want to talk about that twat. All I can say.
Clip it.
I feel that it's just going to be a mirror game of the Tottenham game.
Yeah. Brad, do you agree with the draw?
Yeah, I've been sat here, as I do when I get about 3 inches away from my camera, and I look down to see who's playing who to get an idea and start thinking ahead. And I saw Chelsea Liverpool and I went, I ain't got a clue who's winning this. So I'm with Steve. It's gonna be in the middle.
We all agree. I think it'll be massive if one of those two wins it. But yeah, I think they could possibly cancel each other out. And the last game, which is on the Monday, so that I think will be the 3rd of January, Manchester United taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers. How do you see that one, Steve?
I'm starting to like Wolves. I'm starting to like the way they play. And I think they're picking up points against the big boys. Like you say, they do that quite often and they lose to the lower ones. But Man United away, I'm going to say Wolves are going to win this one 1-0.
Wolf. You've got to agree, Brad, that he goes for it, doesn't he?
He certainly does. He certainly does, but it's not like it's a wild prediction. Like, when we make these, we there's a lot of logic behind the reasoning.
Yeah.
To go back over what we've said about Wolves, and in coherence with Manchester United's results as of recent, I'm actually going to say, whilst I'd like to see Wolves win this, in a weird sort of way, I think there's just something about United at the moment. They get a get out of jail free card. I don't think they'll win it though. I'm going to go for a draw. But I would be very happy if Wolves managed to sneak in a late winner there, to be honest with you. Because I've got to spend the New Year with my father, and he's a Wolves fan, more importantly. That's probably the only reason I'm being a bit nice to Wolves. But,
I can see Wolves, like you say. Where if they're on the day, I can definitely see them getting something from there. But I can't see them, like you say, I can't see them winning it. But I think they're going to go and get a point. Guys, well, that was a marathon, wasn't it? They say it's a marathon, not a sprint. So,
although, to be fair, 3 weeks of predictions, a 20-minute documentary on Spurs, we've not done bad at all.
And Newcastle. We don't forget we got the.
So the 40 minutes came from documentaries. We've done 3 weeks in an hour. And Steve was late from prison.
Yes, he was, and we're going to start sort of doing a card for you, and I was going to say free the Steve one, whatever it is.
What I'd like to, and I was talking to a guy earlier on about this, is I'd like to see it go back to 2 points for a win, and I'd like to go back to 1 substitute, because I think that would make so much difference, and I think it'd bring more excitement back into the game. Because I think we're going too far now, getting 3 points and having six subs and stuff like that, and having big squads. I think it's.
I just think with the 3 points, that if you draw in a game, you there's no incentive, or you're getting an extra point if you win it. So why go for it? Settle for the point. But if you need the win, it's 3 points if you like. I mean, Jock Wallace, I can remember him, bless him, came up with the idea that you get separate points for the first half and second half, because we only ever played very well in the second half, I believe, Steve. I don't think that got very far, did it?
I think I actually remember the Japanese, I think it was. I don't know if it was the top league in Japan, but I'm pretty sure one of them, was either Japan or China, actually did a trial season where if the game ended in a draw, they got a bonus point to the team who won the penalty shootout. That was a bit out there. I'm fairly certain it was. I don't know if it ever went through, but I'm pretty sure that was something they were trying.
No, I think that was America, wasn't it? Because America,
America
hate not having a winner.
Yeah. America did that.
They had like a golden goal, or but started at the halfway line and ran up.
Americans did the hockey technique for penalties, didn't they? Where they tried to do the NFL style penalty. It wasn't a penalty as we see. Yeah, I've seen that video, but I'm pretty sure this is more recent that Japan tried to do it, or China. Like I said, I'm pretty certain it's one of them. I don't know if it ever came into fruition, but I think they were doing it in pre-season. Someone might correct me or bring it up or find it for it. It's very interesting. I think there were something between what you were saying, where if you got a draw, it would go. You'd have the incentive. You don't have the incentive, but you still got 3 points for a win. But you could essentially pick a point for winning the penalty shootout.
I don't think you'd have such a big divide if it was 2 points, because you could go out to play out of your skin. You could win one game on 2 points, but then if you got the 3 point rule, that one game that you do win goes out the window, because you've lost it in 2 games. You've lost four points in 2 games if you draw. So I don't think you'd have really the big divide that you've got now.
Interesting. I better admit, the big thing that I would do, I was talking to somebody the other day about what we would do if we ran the Premier League or the FA or what have you. And I've got to be honest with you, the one thing I would do, and that is so shown up by the games on here. And where was it? Newcastle. When did they? Let's just find. No. On New Year's Day, or certainly the 2nd of January, you've got Newcastle away at Southampton. Now, we know transport is not as often on the bank holidays, and certainly on Sundays. Why aren't we playing local derbies on Boxing Day and the 28th and New Year's Day? You know,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Going back years ago, that's how it used to be. You used to, you always end up playing your local rivals. But like you say, that was when football was like run by the football body. Now
for
it's
the fans.
Now it's run by TV stations and things like that. It's what suits the TV stations and that now. And
I mean, I accept that you cannot, always guarantee it because it depends who's in the league, but you can to a degree, we've got Norwich, which isn't a million miles away, but, certainly why aren't Leicester playing Aston Villa? And we've had Liverpool and Man City for their last few years, on those ones. But anyway, Brad, you've got to go, mate. You have got another show. Do tell Rich that you were talking about Newcastle. It wasn't me keeping you.
That's all right. I will do, mate. No worries. It's been a pleasure being on again.
Thanks
and
so
seeing
much,
you, Steve.
Tomorrow night, mate.
Yeah. If I don't speak to you before, Steve, have a good Christmas and New Year, mate.
Yeah, same to you, mate.
Yeah, because I'm stuck with that sour face up there, so I can't say that to him. I'll see him before.
What can I just say? That's an improvement looking at your video now.
Yeah, I know, right? I thought I'd make it, Christmas tradition, mate. I'll do this just for you guys.
Take care, mate. Have a good one. Possibly see you
have
tomorrow.
a good Christmas, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Steve, thank you for everything you do for me. I really do appreciate it. And
sorry,
it's great. Don't I say don't worry. For me, family, work, everything always comes first.
Well, I took our phones off. I couldn't get in touch with you, so that was the worst thing.
I was just glad when you said you were at a prison that you hadn't been locked in. That was just good news.
Not yet. Not yet. Plenty of time yet.
Well, the good news is you've got a couple of weeks off from me, so you can. And your daughter's going to be loving getting her laptop back. Well, what I do is I'll let you know a couple of shows that we're doing around the Christmas time, and what I'll do is I'll message you in them. You can have a look at it and go, yeah, I don't fancy that one. If you do want to pop on, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, gladly, mate. Lovely. Love it.
Brilliant. But in the meantime, have a great Christmas. All the best to you and all your family. Stay safe with everything that's going on. And as I said, big thank you, Steve. Really do appreciate you coming on. And if I don't speak to you before, I will see you in the new year.
You're welcome. See you again, mate.
Thank you, Steve. All the best now. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, that was Steve. Oh, it's great to have him on. Dan, sorry I'm late to the party. Merry Christmas to you all. We need to follow Germany's tactics where clubs are 5% owned by fans. Yeah, I don't know. I just think you need somebody at the FA to come in and go, do you know what? This game is for the fans, because everything they said after the ESL about, it's a fans game and it's the fans, we've done this for the fans, bollocks. No, it wasn't for the fans at all, because you've proved this now. You've proved it now with the COVID and everything. You're not bothered about games being cancelled and people getting the disease. You're more bothered about you getting the money from Sky, BT, Amazon, BBC, whoever it is. Don't worry about our health. We don't matter, do we? Don't start me, Dan. Don't start me. We are going to be back with this one here, if I can just get it right, tomorrow. 6 o'clock tomorrow. Charlie, Man City fan, is going to be joining me for the preview. Looking forward to that. This time next week.
Have you been naughty Oh, nice.
Oh, behave. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Thank you for watching. If you have been watching on YouTube, or even if you haven't, get over to YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. Smash the likes on the video. It does mean a lot to us, and it does help the channel. And please give the channel a subscribe. That means so much, and that way you never miss a show. And if you're listening on the podcast, on your favorite podcast platform, Leicester Till I Die, 14,000 plays in just over 12 months. That is so totally amazing. It totally freaks me out. Guess you'll be needing me for the Burnley preview. When do we play you? I'm not sure when we play you, Dan. But of course, you'll be more than welcome for the Burnley preview. Will you still be in the Premier League then? Sorry, that's me in the doghouse. Guys, thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching. It has been a long one. Thanks to Steve coming on late, but he got on. Really do appreciate that. And thanks to Brad as well, as it's been one of the longest shows I've ever done. 10 more minutes, and I've been on 2 hours. But we have covered 3 weeks worth. Early Jan, definitely, Dan, you'll be on. If you want me on yours, I'll come on yours as well. Did that sound bad? I've never come on anything of Dan's. See you tomorrow at 6 o'clock, guys. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. Take care.
That's all, folks.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.